The glass doors of the luxury car showroom slid open with a soft hiss, letting in a gust of cold December air. Inside, everything gleamed. Polished marble floors, glowing spotlights, and rows of expensive cars wrapped in red ribbons for Christmas promotions. Well-dressed customers moved confidently from one vehicle to another, discussing features, prices, and delivery dates. It was a place meant for people who looked like money. That's when he walked in. The man paused just inside the entrance, as if unsure whether he belonged there. His jacket was old but clean, his shoes slightly worn from years of use. He didn't carry the confidence of the other customers, but his eyes were steady, thoughtful. He slowly looked around, taking in the cars, not with greed, but with quiet focus. Two salesmen near the counter noticed him immediately. One of them nudged the other and smirked. "Looks like he's lost," the first whispered. "Probably just warming up from the cold," the other replied with a laugh. The man walked deeper into the showroom and stopped in front of a sleek, high-end car decorated with gold trim and a large red bow on the hood. Christmas lights reflected in its shiny black surface. He stared at it for a long moment, his lips curling into a faint smile, as if imagining something precious. A young salesman finally approached him, barely hiding his amusement. "Can I help you, sir?" he asked, his tone polite but dismissive. "Yes," the man said calmly. "I'd like to buy this car." The salesman blinked, then chuckled. "Sir, this model is very expensive." "I know," the man replied, still studying the car. Another salesman joined them, arms crossed. "Are you sure you're in the right place?" he asked sarcastically. "This isn't a used car lot." The man turned to face them. His voice was soft but clear. "I'm buying this car for my daughter's Christmas gift." For a second, there was silence. Then laughter broke out. "A Christmas gift?" One salesman scoffed. "For whose daughter?" Another joked. "Maybe he means a toy version," someone muttered from behind the desk. The man didn't flinch. He didn't raise his voice or defend himself. He simply stood there, hands relaxed at his sides, as if he had expected this reaction. His eyes drifted back to the car, and for a brief moment, the noise around him seemed to fade. In his mind, he saw his daughter's face, her shy smile, the way she hugged him when he came home late, the way she never asked for expensive things. "Just be there, Dad," she always said. Behind him, the laughter continued, louder now. They thought they knew his story by the way he looked. They were wrong. The laughter slowly faded as the showroom manager noticed the small crowd forming near the luxury car. He was a tall man in a tailored suit, his expression already irritated before he even reached them. From years of experience, he believed he could judge a customer's worth in seconds, and the man standing quietly by the car didn't impress him. "What's going on here?" the manager asked sharply. One of the salesmen smiled. "Sir says he wants to buy this model," he said, unable to hide his sarcasm. The manager looked the man up and down, his eyes lingering on the worn jacket and simple shoes. "This car costs more than most houses," he said coldly. "Are you aware of the price?" "Yes," the man replied without hesitation. "I am." The manager raised an eyebrow. "Then you must also know we don't waste time. Financing requires credit history, bank statements, and—" "I won't need financing," the man said gently. That caught the manager off guard. A few nearby customers slowed their steps, sensing something unusual. The manager folded his arms. "All right then," he said. "How do you plan to pay?" The man reached down and lifted a plain, old leather bag from beside his feet. It didn't match the luxury of the room at all. Slowly, deliberately, he placed it on the glass desk. Before opening it, he looked up. "My daughter has never asked me for much," he said quietly. "I work long hours. I miss birthdays, school events, dinners." The salesman exchanged confused glances. "She asked me one thing this Christmas," he continued. "She said, 'Dad, can you come home more?'" The room grew still. Even the manager hesitated. "I promised her I would," the man said. "I turned down extra contracts. I chose time over money. This car, it's not about showing off." His fingers rested on the bag. "It's a reminder, a promise that life is changing." The manager cleared his throat, trying to regain control. "Sir, sentimental stories are nice," he said, "but let's be realistic. Do you actually have the full amount?" The man met his eyes. There was no anger there, only certainty. Yes, he said simply. He unzipped the bag. The faint sound of metal and paper echoed in the silence. The nearest salesman leaned forward instinctively. Inside were neatly stacked bundles of cash, bound carefully, as if each one had been counted more than once. No one laughed now. A woman nearby covered her mouth in shock. The manager's confident posture faltered. The man closed the bag slowly. "If you're still willing," he said, "I'd like to complete the purchase before Christmas." The showroom, once full of noise and judgment, was completely silent. Everyone was waiting for what would happen next. The manager stood frozen for a moment, staring at the leather bag as if it might disappear if he blinked. The confidence he had carried just minutes ago drained from his face. He straightened his tie and forced a professional smile, but it was clear the situation had slipped out of his control. "Of course, sir," he said quickly. "Please, let's take a seat." The man nodded and followed him to the desk. The salesman who had laughed earlier now stood quietly along the wall, avoiding eye contact. One of them swallowed hard, suddenly very interested in the shine on the showroom floor. The manager carefully opened the bag again, this time with respect. He called over an assistant to help count the money. Each bundle was placed on the desk one by one. The soft sound of cash hitting glass echoed through the silent room. Customers who had once ignored the man now watched openly, whispering in disbelief. "It's all here," the assistant said after counting the final stack. The manager let out a slow breath. "Paid in full," he confirmed. He pushed the paperwork across the desk with both hands. His voice had changed. No sarcasm, no doubt. "We'll prepare the car immediately," he said. "Would you like it delivered or?" "I'll drive it home," the man replied. "Tonight, if possible." "Of course," the manager said quickly. "We'll have it ready." As documents were signed, one of the younger salesmen stepped forward. His face was red with embarrassment. "Sir, I'm sorry," he said quietly. "We judged you." The man looked up and gave a small, tired smile. "It happens," he said. "Just remember, sometimes people carry more than they show." Minutes later, the showroom doors opened again, but this time, the man walked out holding the keys. The Christmas lights outside reflected off the car's polished surface as it rolled forward. The same people who had laughed now watched in silence, some with admiration, others with regret. That evening, snow fell lightly as the car pulled into a modest neighborhood. The house wasn't big, but warm yellow light glowed from the windows. The front door flew open before the engine even stopped. "Dad," a little girl cried, running toward him. He stepped out, knelt down, and hugged her tightly. "Merry Christmas," he whispered. She looked past him and gasped. "Is that, for us?" "For you," he said. "But the best gift is this." He pointed to his watch, then placed his hand over his heart. "I'm home." Tears filled her eyes as she hugged him again, harder this time. The car was beautiful. Expensive. Shiny. But inside that small house, what truly mattered wasn't the car at all. It was a promise kept, a family reunited, and a Christmas they would never forget.